get about a 3-yard gain on first down.
Helps have a fullback that you can count on. Big, strong guy that blocks, runs low to the ground. But Ray Robinson's been a great story this year. One of the 6 freshmen that has been a major contributor to the Wolfpack program.
Holt, Fushi, and Collins are in the lineup as the receiver package for Jamie Barnett on 2nd down and 7. Handoff goes to Ray Robinson. And he busts outside the hole. Gets out to the 15-yard line. Let's take a look at Wake Forest defense here. The starting lineups defensively for the Demon Deacons. Fred Robinson. They might move McCoven more into an inside linebacker position and come with a 5th back and stay with that all day long. It worked last week against Virginia. 3rd down coming up for State. High ball game, and pressure is on, and Fred Robbins will trap Jamie Barnett for the sack. He never had a shot at it. Back to the 8-yard line. What a play by the junior from Pensacola, Florida, with his 45th tackle.
Very talented young man. The number 90, Fred Robbins. I mean, this guy comes in on the loop, and you see him right there circled. He's a guy that can make plays. He's 312 pounds, and see the loop inside? You see him coming in, one guy there over on the outside, and 90 there. That's really nice. Now watch this. He comes down in motion, gets the ball, look for the straight arm right there. Love that. I love that.
He falls, and it's positive yard.
On those big guys, man.
He's like a fullback. There are no negative gains.
I feed him the ball. When the offense is struggling, I get 81 involved.
That's what they did last week. They were struggling against Clemson, and then all of a sudden, 85 yards downfield, there's Torrey Holt. Here's Raymond Robinson, and it's nothing doing. Probably about 2 yards up to the 44-yard line, close to a first down. Mark McCoven.
I want to show you something. I mean, this is what, talk about great college football players. Now watch this. This is on a running play. I mean, look at the intensity through the hips. The roughing call, your defense was thrown back on the field, and they were nasty. I mean, they got after him with a pass rush. And you see Bowling, our guy, maniac, and then downfield, which you didn't get a chance to see, was great one-on-one pull. You will see it now. See the post corner? Took it away. Nice way to come out of the twirl. Very nice work. Good job in the truck. That's great. They got it on both sides.
Back deep, 3rd and 32. Here comes the quarterback draw. It's Barnett. And Barnett gets a little bit of room for his punter out to the 25-yard line. Hook up, David Moore.
Have a shoe problem.
Yep. And look, the difference between a junior and a true freshman. Hamrick goes to the sideline. Ricky Collins takes his spot. Coleman and Holt complete the receiver personnel package this time. 1st and 10 at midfield. Barnett on the corner got a nice block. The pass complete to Coleman, and it's good for a first down at the Wake Forest 39. Gain of 11. David Moore on the stop.
Boy, if David had a look back at the ball, he might have had an interception. Now you see, there's a big boy, that Convey up front. That's nice. Now watch the throw. Now see, David doesn't look. If David Moore turns to the ball, he might have had an interception.
But Chris Coleman has a completion instead, and it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. There's David Moore. Seeing a lot of action today out of Smithfield, North Carolina. He's a junior. Barnett out of the shotgun, back to throw. Steps up, fires complete to Holt, but nothing's there. Nice tackle made by Abdul Geis from Rockledge, Florida. He's a junior, playing out of the middle linebacker spot.
Nathan Bowling all over him. The average quarterback there is an average QB sacked.
That's funny. We talked to James Bell yesterday. We talked about Bowling. He said, well, he's missed a couple of sacks. So they're putting a high standard for him. And there's the inside slant to Holt. It is complete, and it's close to a first down at the 30-yard line, but it's going to be just short. DeLon Parrish in on the... That's funny. We talked to James Bell yesterday. We talked about Bowling. He said, well, he's missed a couple of sacks. So they're putting... Slant to Holt. It is complete, and it's close to a first down at the 30-yard.
Nationally, what they've done over the last 11 years in a row, that they've won 10 or more games, and that's never been accomplished before.
You've also got to lead the country in construction, though, in the ACC. Football facilities being built and stadiums being enlarged and a lot of good things that prospective high school athletes ought to pay attention to.
Doc, you're right. What the commitment that our schools are making to the sport of football is just phenomenal, and that the facilities are a tangible example of that. And you're right. It's throughout the entire league, and I think that bodes very, very well for the future of ACC football.
Commissioner, I want you to hang in here for a while. We might even toss it over to you for a play or two here, so brush up on it.
I'll call a pass play. Coach Dooley would never let me do that.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. NC State starts with the fullback in the opener, and that's Butler moving up to the 22-yard line. Tackle made there by Fred Robbins and also Brian Ray. If you look over the back of Justin Burrows. It's an interesting story in his own right. He was a walk-on, actually as a wide receiver out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Can you imagine a center being a wide receiver?
He has certainly grown up, to say the very least. I mean, the guy, he shows you he was an athlete, but he also had the frame. He could add 30, 40, 50 pounds, made a commitment in the weight room, and wants to play.
Quite a transition.
He went, of course, he stopped at tight end on his way to centers.
Well, that means he's right there.
Ray Robinson slips a tackle and moves the ball out to the 38-yard line. And it's a nice gain on the play of 16 yards. Brian Ray on yet another tackle.
John Swarford knows as an old quarterback, vision means a lot. But as a running back, it means everything. Now watch this. See, he gets the blocks, and right about there, he's got a decision to make where he's going to go with this football. And a guy who can make a good one because he's smart up top, allows his lineman to get the job done, and then does what he does best.
Drag the defender out of the way. It's first and 10 at the 38-yard line. NC State operating out of the shotgun. This is Barnett. Again, the option this time calls his own number. Barnett, a tough, hard runner. Look,
might try to take that football from him.
But in the meantime, as they're trying to take the football, he's gaining 4 yards more. He moves it out to the 46.
Steve, this is where I think they...
Third down coming down, about 4. NC State 3 out of 9 on third down conversions this afternoon as you look at Jeffrey Myers and the Wake Forest defense. Exciting second half. We're anticipating a lot of points here. And Barnett trying to keep his drive alive. Has some time. Fires complete to Robinson, but it's nowhere near the first down. In fact, he's thrown for a loss by DeLon Parrish of about 3 yards. So it works to NC State and the Wake Forest defense. Exciting second half. We're anticipating a lot of points here. And Barnett trying. Complete to Robinson, but it's nowhere near the first down. In fact, he's thrown for a loss. And Commissioner Swafford, why don't you tell us what's coming up next week?
Next week, you got 2 emerging programs in the Atlantic Coast Conference, Duke and Maryland on Jefferson Pilot.
At 12 noon. I want to write.
That should be a good one.
Yes, that's our opening. 2 emerging programs.
Yeah.
Is my car running? You know, maybe I ought to just kind of leave here.
Well, you won't miss any. Just keep up with jpsports.com on the internet, which features our illustrious leader, Mr. Steve Martin.
Writing frivolous things. Oh, we try to dress it up here a little bit. First and 10. NC State working at their own 23-yard line. Butler, the fullback. Ray Robinson is the tailback. Back to throw, Barnett. Straight drop back, 5-step drop, and there's Torrey Holt. At the 40-yard line. Complete. And just like that, NC State snaps up about 14 yards. 17 exactly on the play.
All right, Commissioner, what would you do? You've got a one-on-one matchup. You're in press man with that gentleman right there, number 81, Torrey Holt.
I would call for help. That's what I would do. He is a terrific football player. I cannot imagine there being a better receiver in the country, and I hope at season's end he gets the accolades that he deserves. Great player.
Holt Holt is lined up in the slot to the wide side of the field, and looking that way is Barnett. Picks it off his shoe tops and gets an extra yard.
No.
They've already cashed in on one punt recovery today. Here's Barnett. Pass complete to Holt. Watch him go. Knocked out of bounds at the 15, make it the 16-yard line. Geis in on the tackle with Teron Carpenter.
Boy, they come after you hard. They get a turnover, and then they go right to number 81. And this time, Damon Daniel actually slipped. I love the ground level shots. Now watch this. Ball comes right to you. Good hands. Make a miss. Turn it upfield for more. Bingo.
Gives you a chance to make the tackle. Well, should have done it then, you'd gotten flagged for a late hit. Here's Butler, the fullback. Butler chucks his way down to the 5-yard line. David Moore with a shoestring tackle, but not before Jeff Butler, the 5th-year senior from Altamont Springs, Florida, got inside the 10.
Boy, Ryan Knutson, when you get a big play, one of those big hogs up front, got it done. Let's watch the left guard in this play. Ryan Knutson, number 70, little tag scheme, center, great block up front. So he clears out. He didn't have to hit anybody because there's nothing there. Downfield, just chugging along. Here again, Ian Rafferty, always any wide receiver down.
Gain on the play, however, of 9. Holt today, 10 catches, 123. He's carried once for 49 yards. Takes a rest on the sidelines as Butler picks up the first down at the 30-yard line.
Fullback has been really effective for NC State. Oh, Jeffrey's been a main claw. He's gotten it done. Alex Rice and Justin Burrows and Ryan Knutson up front have done a good job.
And that's the key now. You try to go out and recruit people. And Commissioner, we were talking a little while ago about 85 rides now. That puts a premium on everybody that you bring in.
It really does, Steve. You can't make many mistakes recruiting-wise with that number limitation.
Here's Barnett, and his pass is blocked. McCovic was in there on the.
Show a tangible commitment to the institutions, how strongly they feel about a sport, and that makes an impression on young people.
Look at all the red and white here. I mean, this place today is
3rd and 14. Barnett back to throw. Here's the gun for Holt. It is complete. And Austin has him at the 49, actually the 48-yard line. Driven out of bounds with a minute 48 left to go in the 3rd.
And what do you say? You're James Bell, the defensive coordinator for Wake Forest. You have to look at Reggie Austin and say, son, you were right where you should have been. But look at the speed of the velocity on the football. I mean, Jamie Barnett. Whew.
You are Torrey Holt, and you caught the ball. And there he is.
Nope.
Fumbled, picked up by Wake Forest. This is going to be Reggie Austin after Ray Robinson. Fumbled after the carry.
Well, Wake is getting nasty. They just will not give up on this. Mike Hogwood mentioned it. You talk about confidence. And I think it's got to start with their coach, who hasn't panicked. They've had a few bad plays go against them, but they stay in it. And here we go. Robinson, the rookie, nice hold. Gets inside and the ball gets popped out. I guarantee you somewhere along that line, Milkovic had to be there, or Myers. One of those two maniacs had to be there. See the chip by Rollins? See the chip block by Bowling, Nathan Bowling.
Reggie Austin, who's intercepted a ball.
Back there.
Imagine what you'd feel like. You got 81 back there, and it's just you and him. And everybody knows if you miss, 1st and 10 at the 23. Play action for Barnett. Good protection. Pass a little too tall that time. And it was intended for Hamrick over the middle.
That's the thing that's a problem. Kind of quick on me today. They got me.
It's tough when you're an artist.
Well, it's nice.
Second. Hand off Ray Robinson. They'll cradle the ball this time. They got a nice run out to the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 15.
Kind of like to see this. Love to see a true freshman have a bad play, come right back, give him the ball, and show you that he's got some skills. Boy, I love the trap. See the trap? There's a void right in there. The trap block came in, knocked him out, and then he is gone. Now watch this again. That's just nice. But he had a lot of help from the big boys in red.
Ian Rafferty out there again.
Oh, nice trap by Ian.
Here is Butler, the fullback, and Jeff Butler pulling up some good first down yardage. Gets 6 out to the 46-yard line. As we roll down to the end of the final of the third quarter, and NC State's going to find themselves on top. Jeff Butler gives them 6 yards, and they'll be 2nd and 4 when we come back. Just 4-yard shot. Out there again.
Oh, nice.
Out to the 46-yard line. As we roll down to the end of the final of the third quarter, and NC State's going to find themselves on top. Jeff Butler gives them 6 yards, and they'll be 2nd and 4 when we come back. This 4-yard shot. Brought to you in part by Bell South Mobility DCS. We welcome you to Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. Wake Forest Stephen Deacon cheerleaders have something good to cheer about. Their team has come from 10 down. They trail by 3 on a beautiful 9-yard hookup from Brian Kuklik to Jamie Deese. We saw the defenses take over here in the second half. Turnovers have been a factor. There are 3 for NC State and 1 for Wake Forest. And our Duckhead stats through 3 quarters of play bear out the evenness of this contest in all categories save for 1. And that is rushing yards.
Yeah, that's, talk about a clear-cut stat. That's scary.
Boom. 136 to nothing. NC State with the ball, and this is Ray Robinson. And this is wide. Robinson turns the defender back. Can he make the end zone in time? Yes! Touchdown, NC State.
Boy, that's the way to bounce back for a young freshman. Confident, knew he could play, made a mistake, redeemed himself. That is big time.
Got his chance with the injury to Rashawn Sprites, who will come back next week. But Robinson now with his 2nd touchdown of the day. 54 yards officially on the carry. He has 120 yards in 15 carries. And the Wolfpack now up by 9, pending the kick by Daniel Descovich. Out of the hold of Ryan Hammer. And it is good. And NC State now stretches their lead to 10, 31-21 as you look at the play again.
Well, Robinson made up his mind that he was not going to be the guy responsible for spoiling Torrey Holt's final game here at home. Boy, that's everything you want out of a running back. Vision, speed, quickness, smarts, and he finishes. Outstanding run by a true freshman.
And only 9 seconds into this fourth quarter, the Wolfpack lead here by 10, and the homecoming crowd happy. Toughest ticket to get around the Raleigh area. It's sold out, and they are enjoying, on a cool autumn-like sunsplash day, a great ACC matchup. And Ray Robinson, the true freshman, making his mark. You know, when NC State went recruiting this year, Mike O'Kane went out and he got 5 linebackers and 5 running backs. Not all of the running backs showed up at running back position. You got a couple of them sprinkled in the secondary.
Yeah, but they all started. They had a chance to at least spend a day at every spot. And they took the natural guys that seemed to just adapt to those positions. It was a great call by that gentleman in the center of your screen, Mike O'Kane. But you know what? I'll feed off what Mike Hogwood said.
17-point game. Maybe not as hopeful for the Demon Deacons. NC State now moving at their own 36-yard line after the first play to Holt. Here's Ray Robinson. He's had a great day. 2 touchdowns and 120 yards rushing, and he adds 11 yards there. Tackled by Adrian Duncan.
I'll tell you what's impressive about Ray Robinson to me. It's what he does after contact. Nice little delay. Point of attack. Now watch him. No one's touched him at this point. There he gets something. Now watch him. 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards more after contact. True freshman running back. Very impressive.
And that interception followed the block of a Wake Forest punt by NC State that had them set up at the 33. Here's North Carolina State at their own 46. Hand off Robinson again. And more big yardage. Goes down in the grasp of Teron Carpenter after a 7-yard gain into Wake Forest territory at the 47. Elsewhere around the country and the ACC, of course, just down the road in Chapel Hill, the Tar Heels taking command with a minute left in the fourth, up 24-7 on the Maryland Terrapins. And in the SEC, Arkansas holds service at home. They're leading in the fourth by 24 points.
Hogs and balls coming up.
Yep, on the horizon. Second down, 4. NC State moving at the Wake Forest 47. Hand off Butler. And Butler gets about 2. It's down to the 46, maybe the 45. It'll bring up third down and a long 2. In on the tackle, Fred Robinson, Nathan Bowling. This is a nice looking drive here, Doc, and NC State has established himself on the ground thanks to Ray Robinson.
Yeah, they have. You know, Butler, Rafferty, Burrows, Smith, Holt, Butler, Jones, those guys, seniors on that offense, just battle. Cotton, Derrick, Perry, Red. I mean, you just, the last time here at home, they're giving you a great effort.
Third and 2. NC State leading by 4. Hand off Robinson. And Robinson has the first down. Down to the 41-yard line of Wake Forest. Teron Carpenter in on the play.
Pure running back. The good ones are just comfortable with the ball. Just give him the ball. Nice block at the point of attack by Butler. That's all he needs. Get him started. You hit him, and he still gets a couple of more.
Well, the influence of Torrey Holt on Wake Forest defensive schemes. They have 6 defensive backs in the game. Only 5 down linemen, so it allows you to run the ball a little bit. At this time, DeLon Parrish, one of those defensive backs, pairs up with Nathan Bowling, and they throw Ray Robinson for a 3-yard loss back to the 45-yard line.
Parrish makes the tackle back on the 45.
All day long. That's what he does. He's disruptive. Brian Ray. See Robbins.
DeLon Parrish coming up from his sounds of the game as DeLon Parrish makes the stop. And there's Robbins and Bowling as they get ready to line up defensively. Second down and 13. NC State up by 4. No blitz on. Barnett with time to throw. And the pass is deflected by Coleman. Butler couldn't come up with it because he was ready to throw a block.
That was close.
Yep.
Teron Carpenter would have been a hero on that one. That's the old tip drill. It's amazing how close you can be in this game. It's a victory or defeat. And there's the tip. See, he's bobbling that, and he almost pulls it in.
Wow.
He can feel it. Boy, he can feel it.
That's Teron Carpenter. He's a redshirt freshman from Amityville, New York. Third down. Interceptions, a career high today. Beats the record he set last year against Florida State. What a day for him. What a day for both of these teams. Blitz is on. Running right through the hole, however, is Robinson. And he'll pick up a couple of hard-fought yards to the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2, and it'll bring up third down and 3. Tackled by Teron Carpenter. So that play ruled a fumble that NC State takes over on, and Johnson with a recovery. And they're trying to move the ball out of their own territory at the 31, but more importantly than that, eat up valuable clock time.
Bingo. Well, this offense has got to realize that Wake is on a roll offensively, so you better keep the ball.
They're off the field and reduce the amount of time they have something to do with. Here is Robinson up over the 40-yard line. He's going to be close to the first down. Tackled on the play by Matt Petz from from Windsor, Ontario, and Teron Carpenter in on the tackle as well, but it's going to be a gain of about 2, and it's good for the first down, actually 3.
I like the tackles for Wake and Robbins and Wilburn, but they've been able to run the ball right at that triangle, and they've done it with a number of different pulls. You watch both of the offensive linemen who've been pulling all day long. Little cloth pull right there, but we'll allow that one to happen on that case. But they've been aggressive in their efforts.
To the rushing yards. Ray Robinson with close to 150 on the day and 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10. Barnett to throw. It's Holt. And Holt dances in the Wake secondary and gets to midfield. It's a gain of 9. And that's his 14th reception of the day.
Terrific acceleration after the catch. I mean, that's the key. This does not look like a good-looking play in the beginning. I thought, well, they'll collapse on this, and all of a sudden he shifts gears and out of there.
And ducks the hit.
Yeah, almost lost it at the end.
Yep. 2nd down and 1 as Holt takes a rare break on the sidelines. He leads the ACC in receptions with 71 now, counting his 14 of today. Wake's in the neutral zone. They get a free play. And Ray Robinson to the Wake Forest 41-yard line. Penalty coming up here on Wake, probably.
Great job by Jamie Barnett.
It might be declined by the
that's
Wolfpack
great.
because of the Arkansas up 31-0. That's in the 4th, not final yet. Of course, the Tar Heels with 2 losses in the ACC.
A quick game over at Chapel Hill.
Yep. And here's the handoff to Butler, the fullback, and he's straight ahead over the 40-yard line to the 37 of Wake Forest. And so NC State taking control of the football. They picked up the turnover at the 7-minute mark. And keep in mind, folks, that Wake Forest, when they get the ball back, if they get the ball back, only have 1 timeout.
Yeah, they've got to go for pay dirt, but I don't think it'll bother them. I mean, they didn't show by that last series.
There's the timeouts left. Wake had to burn one early in the 3rd quarter, which always comes back to haunt you. That makes 3:32 look a little less. 2nd down and 7. Barnett hands off to Robinson. Robinson.
15 catches.
Wow. 179 yards, but no touchdown. Small consolation.
Yeah, that is rare for him.
Here comes the handoff. Big rush on by Wake, but Robinson breaks tackles and carries people to the 25-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3. Kelvin Jones in on the tackle.
3 yards, Jones makes the tackle, 2nd and 7.
Seems like Moses was there for years.
Kelvin? Yep, it was. And they miss him. They miss him, and they miss Dustin Lyman.
Imagine those 2 guys. I'm not going to bail you out of this one.
Dick Portee and Mike O'Kane. Mike O'Kane shake his head.
It's just youth, coach. It's just youth.
And Barnett will go down on the knee and force Wake Forest to possibly take a time. They have 1 left. They may not elect to take it here. The clock's still rolling. And NC State will have to snap it 1 more time, probably. Jim Caldwell. It's been a tough year for Jim and his staff. They had high expectations, and then injuries kind of haunted them. They fell to Air Force on the first day of the season, 42-0, but they have done a good job of coming back. But today it wasn't enough, as this game is over. NC State wins it by a score of 38-27 at Carter Finley Stadium. We'll return after these messages from your local ACC station.
Yeah, I think they do. Wow. 13 ball games. Coach, a terrific win. That 20-play drive to open the third quarter was textbook.
Well, it was critical. We'd struggled the first half offensively. We'd moved the ball a couple of times offensively and made some mistakes around the 10, 15, 20-yard line and didn't get the ball in the end zone. So it was critical that we come out in the second half with a tremendous wind in our face. Wind must have been blowing 25 or 30 miles an hour. It was critical that we take that drive and if not get points, at least get the ball out midfield where we could punt down to their end of the field. But fortunately, we were able to run 10 minutes off the clock. I think it was a 22-play drive, put 7 points on the board, and virtually use up that entire third quarter when we had the wind in our face.
Well, you talk about balance and total offense. You certainly had that, Coach.
Well, you know, that's something we strive for. I don't think I've ever been in a ball game where we were 241 yards rushing and 241 yards passing. That's amazing. And our calls, I think we had 48 runs and 42 passes, something like that. So that is a balance, and that's what we're looking for. When we're doing that offensively, we have a chance to be really good.
Let's look at a couple of other impressive numbers. I think, Coach, you had 16 minutes more of possession for Maryland, ran 38 more offensive plays. And here's a stat that we don't talk about much, but 10 tackles for losses.
Well, our defense, particularly the first half, played well. We didn't play as well offensively. We had too many plays in the first half to only have 6 points. And our defense did a great job, except for one little stretch there where they had put together a drive and put the ball in the end zone. Our defense really played well the first half, and offensively we just couldn't take advantage of that. And we played in their backfield more than we have in any game this year. So I was really pleased with that. But then the second half we turn around and it's just a reversal. We play well offensively, don't play quite as well defensively. We need to put those halves together. We're playing defense and offense the same way.
All right, thanks very much, Coach. Now let's go inside of Byrd Stadium. It is a breezy day in College Park. Around kickoff time, the temperatures are hovering in the high 30s, low 40s. And here's Coach Mike O'Kane to take us through the first half.
The opening kickoff, we do a tremendous job of coverage here, tackling inside the 20-yard line. Brian Williams, excellent coverage, comes through, makes a heck of a hit on their player. They take over on the 17. First play from scrimmage, we do a good job of pressuring their quarterback, making him scramble there. He throws one up, and Lloyd Harrison comes down with the interception on the 50 and sets our offense up in great field position. We pick up a couple yards on first down. Here on second down, Jamie hits Torrey for a nice gainer down to the 25, 24-yard line. Sets our offense again. Our offense is in great position. Jeff Butler on the inside run, get a great push there by our offensive line down to the 9-yard line. Is in great side run, get a great push there by our offensive line down to the 9-yard line. But we get force him to make a bad throw. Should have been intercepted there. Tony Scott had it in his hands and comes up, drops the pick. Come back on a third down and about 6 or 7 here. We'll get a little, Jamie flips it out to Jeff, pick up a big first down for us. Jeff has really played well for us all year long. Passing game, running game as well, and another nice go 81 yards at the line of scrimmage. Offensive line, I thought the second half really did a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage, opening some holes in there, protecting the quarterback. Jeff Butler, I understand it was his birthday, his first collegiate touchdown, so I know he's an excited young man for that one, being a senior and getting that opportunity. Again, LeVar Fisher on the option. As I said earlier, our linebackers did a great job playing the option all day long. Here we get a pressure again on the quarterback. When we get pressure, good things happen. Lloyd Harrison comes up with his second interception, and then we're able to take over and run the clock out.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the program, the Wolfpack is now 5-2.
Starting off at its own 17 this time, first down and 10. Out to the 19-yard line. That's Rashawn Spikes again. Their first series resulted in a punt.
So right now they're sticking too close to their game plan. They want to try to establish a run even though they're not a running team. But at some point in time they're going to have to abandon this, particularly if North Carolina gets some other points on the board, because the longer you keep the ball and you're not scoring points, the more difficult it is to convert on the opposite side when the opposition is scoring.
That's Coleman in motion. Barnett fires complete to Coleman, the motion man, and he has a first down at the North Carolina State 40-yard line. And Jamie Barnett that time delivered it right on the money.
Coleman does an excellent job of finding the void in that zone. He had an underneath receiver coming out in the flat area to stretch the field horizontally, and then he comes underneath all of this, finds his little pocket in his void as he comes out right here. Just watch him. Get separation here. He's got a guy that's holding the corner up, and he's outside. He makes a tremendous play upfield for positive yardage.
Spencer, everybody talks about Holt, but Coleman is the guy that keeps everybody honest. Takes some of the pressure off Torrey Holt. Barnett on the option. Keeps it himself and lunges forward. First down and 10 from the 47-yard line for North Carolina State, and this is Spikes again. Little off-tackle play down to the 40-yard line. Running behind Rice and Burrows and Boyle. Simpson making the tackle for Carolina.
North Carolina State not rattled by what happened earlier, not being able to move the ball. They're sticking with their game plan. Now they're starting to find a few seams through that porous defensive line of Carolina.
It is second down and 3. Spikes has run the ball 4 times so far today for a total of 25 yards. Here he is again. Brought down at the 37-yard line, right at the first down marker. It's going to be close. Under 8 minutes to play now in the first period. Ebenezer Ecubon, there he is, made the stop for North Carolina.
Well, he's a story, and this kid didn't even start playing football until his junior year.
Wow.
And all of a sudden now the pro scouts are talking about he has a chance to play on Sundays.
Yeah, Ecubon rated. Now in the backfield, it's Ray Robinson, the tailback behind Jeff Butler, out of the eye. This is Robinson, and he is stuffed. He'll lose a yard on the play. He got stopped up by that right side of the line, showing his versatility. Spikes and Butler lining up out of the eye on 1st and 10. That's Coleman in motion. This is Butler plowing forward and stopped up at about the 24-yard line. Jeff Butler, an interesting story. He's a 6', 226-pound senior. He played 2 sports, both baseball and football, for the longest time, but then decided to go full-time with football.
I'll tell you what, I'm just in love with Holt on that last play. He hadn't caught a pass yet, but what he does, he makes his team better by being selfless and making blocks like that on that last play. That's tremendous.
Spencer, this is the 10th play of the Wolfpack drive coming up. 2nd down and 8. 6 minutes to play in the period. On the option, and Barnett is brought.
Behind him.
12 to go. Carolina in a nickel package defensively. Barnett, a little shovel pass.
Here in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball for Green Bay.
2nd down and 9. Yards, and he's been picked off once by Dre Bly.
Carolina in a prevent defense is going to toss it up. Not a lot of good can happen here.
And it's picked off by number 34. Here comes Fisher. They look for a couple of blocks, and he's tackled at the 43-yard line. So the prayer is not answered. 2nd down and 10. Spikes on the inside handoff. Spikes with a first down out to the 27-yard line. Deep into the secondary, tackled by Ecubon, who is pursuing downfield.
That's a great call on 2nd down and long. We'll take a look at the end zone. Watch the blocking up front and watch the hole. You got a big guard pulling around right here trying to block out. He's going to block the first color he sees. Mack does a tremendous job. Gets the guy ISO'd on him one-on-one. Nice little juke fake. Gets his pad leveled down. Gets tackled from behind, but not after he has a big gainer.
We'll need more of those types of plays to get going here. 1st down and 10. Play fake for Holt. Has him.
Beautiful.
And he's got it down to the 30-yard line. He worked on Dre Bly, and that time Holt came out the victor.
So now they're even, sort of. I mean, you know each one of these guys are going to turn in game-time performances, big game performances. This time, it's Torrey Holt's turn. He's playing soft or catch coverage. Torrey just runs right by Bly, who's got tremendous make-up speed. Here, he probably doesn't want to interfere, but Holt, who's got that tremendous reach, grows up and grabs the ball at its highest point, just like he's coached to do, and comes up with a big play.
That is the best ball, too, Spencer, that Barnett has thrown all day. Spikes down to the 28-yard line. Well, we talked about the Bly and Holt matchup. Here's the way things worked out. They're matched up 17 times in the first half. They went his way 3 times, and Dre Bly had that 1 interception.
And on that last play, Mark, we talked about getting Barnett more confidence. The way he had to do it was to get him ISO'd with Holt over there on Bly. Even though Bly's a tremendous defensive back, you don't want a shaky quarterback having to read progression. So he did the ISO that time.
This time Bly up again in press coverage on Holt. Over the middle, intended for Coleman. And Barnett overshot his intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 8 to go.
And I like that play there, too. Barnett just overthrew it again. He had a receiver inside, the receiver between the ball and the defender's body, just like you want it to happen. As a similar catch on L.C. Stevens on the other side, the offensive ball, right before the half. Those are the type of matchups you're looking at. If they're going to play press coverage, man-to-man, that's okay. If they give you that inside, that's what you want to get.
Fisher and Bly on the corners. And not much after that, because they are thin at that position. Collins in motion. Looking for a flag on that. And he finds Coleman downfield at the 7. A couple of flags down, though. One at the 15-yard line.
And, you know, you had Torrey Holt running what you call an arrow route coming out. And then Bly, the separation that was created, knew he couldn't make it up. I know he knows he's a tremendous athlete, but even Deion Sanders couldn't have made that play and recovered and been in a position to make a difference.
Great reach to corral the snap. Spikes down to about the 3-yard line, met there by Brandon Spoon, number 44. Rashawn Spikes out of Meriden, Connecticut. Stop Interstate 84.
This has been a very quiet, workmanlike drive by State. They're just kind of quietly going about their business, trying to do methodically what they know they have to do to get back in contention here, and they're doing a fine job of it. That's where they want to be, in the end zone.
The 8th play coming up. It would be paramount for them to get some points on the board early in the half. Spikes tries to get airborne, lands just shy of the 1-yard line. Spikes again. He returned from a shoulder injury just a week ago against Maryland, after missing 4 previous. Opposed to for them to get with the program, frankly.
I think this is a case where you're going to go for the quick slant. Watch Holt. Oh, he run it.
Not sure he got in either. And there might have been a fumble. North Carolina has the ball.
A wasted opportunity, Mark.
On the side of midfield at the 48. They're close. Oh, boy. And he gets off a great punt.